Hello, welcome to HTML scripting. After watching this video, you will be able to describe how scripting is enabled in browsers. Scripting is enabled for a browser context when the conditions shown on the slide are true. Scripting is used to provide a more interactive user experience when browsing websites. Since scripting can be turned off, the recommendation is to use scripting but not to rely on it. HTML5 also defines a text or HTML sandboxed media type for documents. This attribute can be used when hosting untrusted content. The sandboxed browsing context can be set at the page level or specified as an attribute on any tag that contains an embedded object. If you are running a page with an embedded object without the sandbox attribute, you are implicitly giving a third-party vendor permission to run scripts with the same permissions that you have for the page. Granting the embedded object the same permissions as the rest of your page is one way that you can inadvertently allow advertisements to occur in your application. To prevent granting implicit permission to embedded objects, use the sandbox attribute on any tag that contains an embedded object. Each HTML document that is loaded into a browser page becomes a document object. The document object provides access to all HTML elements in a page and can be accessed from within a script. The DOM tree accessors are HTML document APIs that provide access to all the HTML elements on a page. The property to access is prefixed by the word document. For example, document.head returns the first head element that is a child of the HTML element, if there is one, otherwise null. The function document.images returns an HTML collection of the image elements in the document. The function document.scripts returns an HTML collection of the script elements in the document. Here are some common HTML DOM tree methods. The document.getElementById ID function has one required parameter, which is the ID of the element you want to access. The ID is specified as an attribute on one of the elements that is coded elsewhere on the page. The document.getElementsByTagName tag function has one required parameter, which is the tag name of the element you want to access. This function returns a node list of all the elements with the tag that matches the required parameter. This is a fragment of HTML with JavaScript code that uses the document API. When Submit is clicked inside the page that is running in a web browser, the text checker function begins. The document.getElementById text field 1 retrieves the contents of what was typed into the input field that has the ID of text field 1 and places this content into a variable. The JavaScript logic then tests whether any data was typed into the field, and an alert dialog is displayed with the result. A similar function will be used later in exercise 1. Here is the output from running the code on the previous page that uses the document API. The user types test in the input field and clicks submit. The result is seen in an alert dialog box on the same page. In this video, you learned scripting is used to provide a more interactive user experience when browsing websites. Since scripting can be turned off, the recommendation is to use scripting but not to rely on it. Scripting is enabled when certain browser conditions are met. HTML5 sandboxes enable you to manage iframe mashups, web pages that pull content from more than one site. HTML documents loaded into a browser page become document objects, which you can access through scripts.